Hey y'all, I'm coming again with the childbirth talk. I want to talk about Serena Williams postpartum, traumatic postpartum experience is what they label it as. I label it more as Serena Williams birth experience due to lack of childbirth education. What happened was she got a C-section, and with most C-sections, there's a high probability of an embolism, and what she did get. So she requested for a CAT scan, and the nurse ignored her. She received the standard healthcare process, and she wanted a heparin drip, which helps breaks up blood clots. And she didn't get any of that, and she had to advocate for that strongly. And so she talks about it, and I just want us to discuss it because a lot of it comes from lack of education.
Doctors aren't listening to us, just to be quite frank. Because of what I went through, it would be really difficult if I didn't have the health care that I had. And to imagine all the other women who do go through that without the same health care and without the same respondents is again, it's upsetting.
So what she said doesn't make sense to me. You almost died. There's a few things, y'all, that I want to talk about in Serena's video. One, your socioeconomic status, like what type of health care, how much money you make, does not matter. Because if it mattered, she wouldn't have had to fight for her life like every other black person who's been talking about it, who's been traumatized in the birth process in the hospital. Also want to talk about a few other things. One, that a top athlete like Serena Williams had to get a C-section to begin with. What we know is a major abdominal surgery. We already know that the birth system was designed with not women in mind, because it wasn't designed for us to be able to adequately get up and be able to take care of a newborn. They also reduces the chances of breastfeeding. I always like to bring my receipts, you know. So she was talking about a pulmonary embolism or a blood clot that goes to the lungs. One of the biggest things that happen when you get an epidural, so even before you get to the C-section, your risk jumps up tremendously. And most people do not know what risk comes with the epidural. So this is all of that should have been had. No, what she should be advocating is putting funds into education for families. Because how can you say that based on you having a different healthcare and your outcome was the same? I think we need to start recognizing, particularly as black women, that it is not the healthcare that is the problem. It is our lack of understanding of the process that is portion of the problem. So we go in and we get an unnecessary major abdominal surgery, which is listed right here. It is considered a major abdominal surgery. We got to know this before we start giving birth in hospitals with no